Good morning, participants. My name is Juvaria Kamuddin, and on behalf of Faculty of Architecture and Planning, Abdul Kalam Technical University, Lucknow, I would like to welcome you all to the webinar series that has been launched to engage with architecture students, researchers, educators, and fellow architects on various interesting topics. The theme of this webinar is integrating building information modeling (BIM) workflow with your teams. Our speaker for the session, Ms. Soumya Kiar, who is a BIM expert trainer with over 5 years of training, has accumulated over 5,000 plus hours of training students and professionals in various softwares. Many objectives of the main objective of this webinar is twofold and hence divided into two sessions. The current one and in continuation tomorrow at 11 a.m. The first session, which is today, is to help participants in understanding in detail the concepts of BIM and their benefits. She will be explaining the products included in Autodesk BIM 360 in detail at the end of the session. Tomorrow's session will include an online training of the software. Without further delay, I would now like to welcome Ms. Soumya to begin the session for today. Over to you, Soumya ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and I welcome everyone for the webinar series 1 where yeah, I hope now everyone can see my screen.
Not yet, ma'am. It's just taking a minute to, I guess, load.
Okay.
Now
Okay,
it's
ma'am.
now it's visible.
Yeah. Screen sharing is now past.
Ma'am, your screen share is visible. We can see the presentation.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I welcome everyone for the BIM series 1 where we'll see the BIM 360. And before going on for the BIM 360, like we'll learn like what are all the concepts we should have in BIM, and based on the concepts like what softwares we can use it in BIM 360, and how the workflow will be going in BIM 3 Autodesk BIM 360, and how you have to collaborate with one app with the other app, and do we have any extension of BIM 360 and any other softwares. Suppose like if you're aware of the softwares like Revit architecture and maybe Navisworks work and the Tekla structure softwares, like these are all the softwares which has the BIM concept by itself. So when you have all these concepts, like you can have the extension of BIM 360, and where you can take the entire model directly into the Autodesk BIM 360. But before going, I would like to tell you like what is BIM also. like uh, the abbreviation for BIM, it is actually the building information modeling, because whatever model you have to do it for the entire model, we have to have the information like what is the thickness of the wall, and what is the size of the wall, and what is the dimensions of the wall. And it is just an example that I'm just going with wall. But if you're going with any other panels, like maybe for the doors or for the windows, the floors which we do, and not only for the concrete and not only for the architecture, if we go for the steel products also, maybe like what is the size we need for each and everything, what we are going to model it in any of the BIM respective softwares, we have to have the informations by default to make it as a complete building. Not only the building, but maybe for any structure we do the modeling in the softwares, we have to have the complete information about the building also. And what is BIM? Actually, as I said, no, like BIM, it is an acronym for the building information modeling. And if you just see the BIM, like all the stakeholders and AAC, the architecture, engineering, and construction professionals can work on it. Where the architecture professionals will work on the BIM softwares, like where they can do the complete modeling on architecture. And when it comes to engineering, apart from the architecture, we do have the structural engineers, the mechanical and plumbing engineers, and electrical engineers. So all other engineers can also work on the concept of BIM. As we take, no, like when we take the Revit software, like we do have three different panels in Revit. The one will be the architecture, the next one will be the structure, and the third one will be the MEP, like the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. So the first part, architect, will be learned by all the architects and respective departments also. So when it comes to structure and when it comes to MEP, like structural engineers and mechanical, electrical, and plumbing engineers will have the rest of the part. And that is why always the BIM concept will be taken care of the AEC department, architecture, engineering, and construction. Because when we all will work together to create one model, and by at the end, at the last, it will be shared to the construction department. Because no, they have to construct the exact model and the construction site. Maybe it can be very complex, or it can be very no uh, very small, or very maybe it could be some aesthetic building also, like whatever we take, like it all at last it just comes to the construction department only. And whenever we do modeling and any of the softwares with the BIM concept, we have to make sure that we have to go by the planning, and we have to go by the designing, and we have to go for the construction at the last, and for the 3D model. And whenever we have the BIM concept, we always know, like imagine how the model looks, because it is only the 3D model. Because when we take any 2D softwares, it is only no, everything will be drawn only in the line. But whenever it goes for the 3D model, and the complete BIM concept will be there. And if at all we see for the elements of BIM, it is actually the information. And we have to give the information, like what are the informations we needed in one model. And when it goes to the people, we have to engage all the BIM managers, the BIM modelers. So whenever we work with the concept of BIM, we all will be called as the BIM modelers. So we want people to work with the designation of BIM modelers, but with the respective departments as well. Because like I might know the structure, but we all, like you might know the architect, but some might know for the others. So we have to pick the respective departments, and we have to make sure that they are working on it. And whenever it goes for the policies and process, we should have the set of rules. Because no, like not the, whenever we say the 3D model, not the entire 3D model will be the same how we just look into the picture. Because we do have some specifications, some dimension, some levels, like how it should get designed and how it should get modeled. Because whenever we work with any industries, or whenever we work on the own, maybe as the entrepreneur, and we all will be asked for the certain specification. Like maybe we all can go with the dimensions, and all they all will ask us, like, can you create this level of BIM, and can you give it to me so that I'll pay you this much. So we should have some regulations, some rules, and also some policies to work with BIM. And also the process, I'll tell you the workflow of the BIM, like where you have to start and where we have to end. Because not like we'll go for the 2D plan, and from that we'll create the modeling and we'll end up, it is not like that. So we should have some workflow, and based on the workflow only you'll get the outcome of the 3D model. And we should plan, we should go for the design, and at last the model whichever you make should go for the construction also. So I'll tell you the complete process of BIM and the technologies. Whenever it comes to technologies, like in the olden days, as we all know, that people will use only the paper draft. They all will do the paper, they'll sketch, and if they want they'll erase, they everything will be recorded only in the paper. But now, as the technology has grown up, we all will be aware of the softwares. Because there is also a few changes, and the softwares also is getting upgraded day by day. And if you see the AutoCAD, it is only the 2D. And if you see Revit, it is actually the 3D, the complete integration we all will have. And one thing is that whenever you create any 3D model, everything will be designed and everything will be modeled. And you cannot take the complete design to the construction site in the older days. I hope now, like uh, you all agree with this, like also I'm clear, like whatever design you do it in Revit architecture, we all will take a printout. We all will take a printout of the design, maybe whatever design it is, maybe the plan and what dimensions we need, and how you should exactly construct it in the construction site. We all will take the printout from the office, and we all will go with the printout to the construction site. But what the BIM has turned, because of the technology and because of the BIM concept, we do have one software called BIM 360. So what happened is that we need not want to take any printout at all. You can take the digital your tab or else your phone. You can make use of the digital technology, and you can take the complete design, the model to the BIM 360. And if you have any errors, you need not want to make a mail, or you need not want to send them the message, or you need not want to call them up. The immediate moment you mark up that there is the error or there is the mistakes, or I cannot construct the same part in the construction site, you can make use of the revision cloud, and all the errors, whenever you find it on the digital model, the immediate moment you can raise a mail, you can raise a query with help of the BIM concept, and also with the help of the software BIM 360. And this is what is the integration that we use, that we all will use the BIM 360 BIM concepts into BIM 360 app. And the next one is actually the objectives of BIM. So like, when it comes to objectives of BIM, and always we have to compare the functionality, the scope, and also the project cost. Because like, whenever we do know, like, whatever project you create, initially we have to end up with what is the scope, and what is the model we have to do, and like, what is the cost we need. Because for one 3D model you need at least 10 lakhs to do, but the other 3D model at least you need 50 lakhs to construct. So whenever you start your BIM model, you have to make sure that you have to go with the project cost, the scope, like what scope we do have, and also the functions, like what functions we should have it throughout the project, and how you should start and how you should end. Like, if you have already completed any other BIM projects also, you have to make sure like how you have started and how you have completed also. And also the second objective, whenever you do any model, whatever model it can be, the first thing we have to go with the energy analysis data, and that is the first data we should have it whenever we go for the BIM model. Because what happens, whenever we go with the energy analysis, and we will able to get it, the emission of the carbon dioxide, and all the artificial lights whichever we use, and how much consumption we do take it for our building, and how much no it is getting emitted. So all these data will be calculated in the energy analysis, and that report we have to submit it to the pollution control board at the end also. So if you want to take the energy analysis, that can be taken out of the BIM concept. Okay, the first report that we have to take it, and the first that report can be taken from the Revit software, which has the BIM concept by default. And the next report which we need is that the pipelines. So it is not for the general residential building, the pipelines we generally take, but whenever we go for any commercial building or for any shopping malls we go, and we all can able to see the firefighting, the all the fire alarm. When suddenly a fire happens in the shopping mall, we all will able to get the fire alarm control also. So when we able to get all those things, like we can see the reports for that also. We all will call it as the heating reports and cooling reports, like what heating effect we do have it for the materials that we have used, and what is the cooling reports of the building. So the entire heating and cooling reports we should take it. So that is what is the second objective that we actually need. And whenever you go for any designing, obviously we should have some solutions also. Like, suppose if the energy is being high, and how will you nullify that energy part? Suppose if you reduce, like if you add two more windows, the artificial lights will be reduced. So in that way also we can provide the design solutions. And the next one will be that we all will have the feasibility studies for construction, where you can show to your client that this is what is your 3D model, and you can able to share the design and also the feasibility. So when you can able to share the design and also the feasibility studies for construction, it means is that, so first and foremost in any of the software, only the architects will work. If you take any softwares, only first and foremost the architects will work for any 3D model. And once the architects has been created their 3D model, we all will go for the next step of the structural. the structural in the sense like no, we all will place the beam column, the structural framing, everything. So the next step will be carried by the structural, and the third step will be carried by the rest of the departments. So that is how you can share your designs as well. And the quality which we make it on the design, it is like how much material we give, and how will be the exact output, and how will you change the data to the process to make it more effective and efficient. Like what are all the materials we do give, the same quality will be in the BIM model that is being constructed. And we all will have the data exchange also. So like whatever data we have to exchange it, like we can exchange it to the respective departments, and we can make use of it. And the final objective is that we can also make use of the building project during the construction operations and maintenance. And all the data whichever we have it for the building project, and the documents, the construction documents during the construction, and operations, like operations, the scaffoldings, and what all the transportations we do have to take it, and what no, like we don't have anything to have it also. And we should have all the operations in the BIM, like whenever we construct it in the construction site. And also the maintenance, like maintenance is the final part. And for the maintenance also, we do have one more BIM 360 app called OPS. So what happens with this app, like it is actually the operation scheduling app. Once you have done with all the construction part, and finally what we all will do, like we will all will hand over the entire construction model to the clients who has requested for. And the main, obviously we have to tell them like, I have did all these maintenance for the like for 2 to 3 years in life. And if you want to like enhance your maintenance, like you can make use of these papers, like these documents. And that is what we'll go with the maintenance. And always when we design any building, we all will design with the span of the building also, like what is the life for the building, like how many years we can have this building in the constructed building, what is the life of the constructed building. With respect to the constructed life of the constructed building, we all will have the maintenance of the building too, like what maintenance we need. So this is what is the main objective, like we should make use of the scope of the model, and what is the project cost, and like what are all the reports we have to submit, and we have to get it from the BIM softwares with help of the BIM concept. The first one will be the energy analysis report, and the second one will be the heating and cooling reports. But these reports, that are mandatorily we have to submit it to India. Like whatever buildings we do, especially for the commercial buildings. Maybe no, the for the residential buildings it would be very less, but when we design it for the commercial building, it is very essential that we just make use of the all these reports. And also we have to share the design for the other team members, for the other departments, and also the feasibility studies for construction, no, we'll have the feasibility also. And the quality assurance is mandatory. And the data exchange, no, whenever we exchange the data to the other process, it should be more effective and efficient also. And the last objective we do have is that no, whatever data we used it in the building project will be used in the construction operations as well as in the maintenance part. And the next one will be the workflow of BIM. And if you see the workflow of the BIM, it just starts with the programming, followed by the conceptual design and detailed design, analysis, documentation, fabrication, construction of 4D and 5D, logistics, operation and maintenance. So this is what the workflow of the BIM is actually about. So when we take the programming, that is what is the first step. It is actually the scope. Like whenever it comes for the scope, we all will have to make sure of one thing, like what is the size of the land, and to which area the north direction is being facing, and which is like northwest, east, south, and what are all the surrounding things that is around the piece of land that we do have. And have we, and should we carry it out with the excavation part, and like should I go for the parking also. So what is the space that I should go for the parking. So where should I leave it for the parking? Should I go with the parking in the ground floor, or like, no, we should have all these types of questions when we go for the programming. So programming is the first step in BIM. Like, we should have with all the basic concepts and also all the basic ideas, the queries which we have to ask it through the client. Okay, when someone is asking like you have to go with G+5 or we have to go with the commercial building, of course we'll consider. But still, can you tell me few of these details so that I'll make a note of it, so that I'll go with the conceptual design. So programming is one such thing. It is not that the C or C++ programming generally, it is actually the default steps, like what we need and what should be carried out through the end of the model. And when it goes to conceptual design, the second step of the workflow, the overall model, the outer model, like how it will be. Like the outer model in the sense, no, I know that I'm going to go with the G+5 building, but I just want to have a rough plan, like how is it 2 BHK or 3 BHK, or if I'm going with any apartments, should I have the 4 flats in one floor? So this is what is the conceptual design, the outer model of the entire design is actually the conceptual design which we do. And the third step, no, it is actually the detailed design. So when it comes to detailed design, only in this stage you have to make sure that you're going for exact details of the BHK, like whether it is 2 BHK or whether it is 3 BHK, and what is your plan, and what is the area, and where should I leave it for the parking, and should I go, what materials I should give, and what furnitures should I opt for, and how will be the parking, and should I go for the soil test, and for complete details, for all the details you have to go in the detailed design. And that is the third step. Only in the detailed design you will able to do the analysis part, so you have to make sure that the outcome of the model will be the same. And the next part, it is actually the analysis, because till now we have designed. So we want to make sure one thing is that whether the model that I have created will be safer or not. Will the load that I have given, will it withstand or not? So if you want to make sure that the building which I have created is actually, whether it is safe or not, and what is the lifespan of the building, so you have to go with the third workflow of BIM. It is actually the analysis. In the fourth step, you can make sure that your building is very strong and it is safer also. And the next thing, like, you can also check for the lifespan of the building, and that is the fourth step we all can do. Until now, like, you have just created the conceptual design, the detailed design, and also the analysis part. And the fifth part, it just comes with the documentation. And documentation is the most important part in the workflow of BIM whenever you go with the concepts, because like only this documentations will be sent to the various departments. As I've told you, the one set of the soil test whichever you take, that will be sent to the highway departments. Okay, the National Highway Authority of India will send it to them, because only they will do the soil test for the buildings whatever we do. Because based on the soil test only we can go for the foundations and you can construct the building. And the second set, you have to make sure the building approval plan also. So you have to create your documentations in such a way that your building will get approved. And the third set, it is actually the heating and cooling reports and all the pipe reports whichever we have taken out of the BIM softwares, that you have to send it. And the next set of documents which you have to send it, to your fabricators, to the manufacturers. Because what happens, like if you want to create a new concrete grade, because we all will learn, also we all will know only like M10, the concrete grade of M10, M15, M20, M25, M30. Because whenever you go for the bridges and whenever you go for the high rise buildings, we all will go with the higher concrete grade like M60, M50 or something like that. So whenever you want to go for the higher grade, the concrete grade M60, we all should send all the documents to the respective departments, because they have to create a new ratio for the M60. So you have to tell them my load is very heavy, so I'm going with the M60 concrete grade. So you have to create a document in that stage, where we all will go for the next stage for the fabrication. So whenever you create a new thing, and that will be sent for the fabrication. And fabrication, the next step, it is actually where a new design, the new grade, the new profile, whatever you give it in the construction documents, it will all will be given in the fabrication. And that is actually called as the other workflow of the BIM. Because if you have the existing, we all will have the materials or with the things which we can take it. But when it goes to fabrication, a new set of profiles and also the new materials, we all will take it from that. And the next step, it is actually the 4D and 5D. So when it comes to 4D, it is actually the cost, and when it comes to 5D, it is actually the time. Okay, when it goes to 4D and 5D, it is actually the time and cost which we generally give for. So when it go, like what time it takes for the construction of the entire model, okay, from the starting till the end, like what time duration we can take it for the construction of the entire model. And also when it goes for the 5D, and how much cost it takes for the construction of the entire model. And that is what is it is actually the construction of the 4D and 5D. The 4D is actually the time, and 5D is actually the cost. And construction logistics, and when it comes to construction logistics, and like how all the materials will be transported, and how with help of the crane how it will be placed on top of the building. So we all will make use of the logistics, like how it will be transported. And I need this much set of cement bags, and I need 500 units of fine aggregate, coarse aggregate, the bricks, the hollow blocks, and all these logistics reports, you can take it with help of the last step of your BIM workflow. And the next one, it is actually the operation and maintenance. This is the final step. And when it goes for the operation maintenance, it is actually the handing over your project to the respective department. Like what happens, whenever we go for the operation and maintenance, the final step, and we'll hand over a complete building. Along with that, we have to give them the documents also. Because as you can see it in the image also, we'll have the furnished model. We'll give them the furnished model. In case if there is any maintenance, or if there any problem that occurs in the future stage, we have to give them the maintenance documents to them, that can be controlled in the BIM 360 OPS app also. Like whatever maintenance thing they need, they can control it with the BIM, building OPS. And this is what is the workflow of the complete BIM. It goes with the programming, the conceptual design, analysis, documentation, fabrication, construction, and logistics in operation and maintenance. And next is actually the BIM execution plan. So how you want your BIM to get executed? So what we have to do, like we have to identify the project team members. And once we have identified all the team members, they all will work with the various phases, like the initial phase, and the next one will be the construction phase, and the third one will be the operational phase. So they all, we have to identify the team members, and we have to give them the role, so that they all will work with the all the respective departments and also the phases. And whenever people are working with the respecting team, and they should give their respective documents also. Because like suppose some people who will work on the construction document, they have to give the report like, I have completed 30% of the work by today, and I have spent this much of money, and the rest of the money I do have. So we should give the respective documents also to the higher officials, to the BIM managers. Only in that way we can also execute the plan. And this is what is actually the flow. First you have to identify the BIM goals and also the uses, and you have to go with the designing of your BIM project, and you have to develop the information, and you have to exchange it with the other departments. And after you have exchanged it, you have to make sure that you have the complete infrastructure to get it construction in the construction site. And so these were all the uh, execution plan that we can make use of it, the BIM goals and uses, BIM project, and also the exchange, like whatever exchanges we need, and also the supporting infrastructure that we want the construction to get it constructed. And the next one, it is actually the BIM foundation. So when it comes to BIM foundation, we have to know like what are all the technologies we'll use, and with whom we all will share the documents also. So that is what is the BIM foundations. So whenever you work with BIM process, you have to make sure that you have your documents to be shared with the architects, the owners, the engineers, and also the contractors. So whatever files you create, no all the files should be shared with the architects, owners, engineers, and also with the contractors. And also the technologies which we use, it is based on the planning, designing, constructing, operating, and maintaining it. Okay, maintaining it with all the physical infrastructures like water, electricity, gas, communication, and roads. Because whenever we say the smart city, by default all these smart cities will have all these physical infrastructures. So whenever we create any 3D model or whatever technologies we use, especially whenever we create any model with the BIM concepts, we all should make sure that all the BIM technologies it just goes with the physical infrastructures also. Only in such a way we have to create it. And also when we are going with the maintenance and the operation, so we have to include all the physical infrastructures as well. And in BIM foundations we have to submit all the files to the respective owners, and also we have to create the BIM models with the BIM technologies, and also all the digital models should be handed over. So it is not only the paper model, it is all the complete digital model we should hand it over to the clients. And it is the BIM levels. The next, like what you're going to see, it is actually the BIM levels. Because like now from the now, like what are all the concepts we are going to see, it is all with respect to the industry standards, like how industry is requires project from you. Whenever you work with any industry or whenever you create the BIM models on the own, no like they all will talk to you in the respective levels, the respective dimensions, and also with respect to LODs. Only based on that we all will create the model. So when it comes to level, we do have four different levels: level 0, level 1, level 2, and also level 3. When it goes to level 0, we all will use only the CAD software, and it comes to line and also the text. And the second level, all we'll use the models and the objects. We will partially use the CAD software and partially we'll use the BIM concept. And when it comes to level 2, we all will collaborate. Collaborating means like one model which is being done by architect will be used by all other engineers also, and that is what collaborating informations. Like if I change any model, the immediate moment the changes will be updated in your system, in your model also, and that is what is being collaboration being done. And when it comes to level 3, like it is actually the interoperable data, like how you can use the digital model and how you can share all the datas also. So I'll explain the step by step levels also. And when it comes to level 0, it is actually the zero collaboration. All in level 0 we all will do the paper based 2D models alone. No, like how we do the hand drafting, or if you make use of the CAD software also, finally we all will take the um information, the end product result to be the paper or else to be in the electronic prints. Look, whatever you take, whatever it can be, everything, no, it will be in the form of paper or it will be in the form of the prints, whichever we take. And this is the first step, the level 0, that we all will make use of the 2D CAD drafting techniques. And most probably the industry professionals, like they all will get the CAD models from the client itself, and based on the CAD models we all will go with the 3D models. And here you can see like it is the BIM level 1. So whenever we go for the first step in BIM, it involves using both 3D CAD and 2D drafting. So whenever we use the 3D CAD, we all will go for the conceptual design. The 3D model design we all will use it in the level 1. So whatever design we create, you can able to see it in the 3D view also. So we all will go with the sectional views, the call out views, and also the legends, like whatever we have created, and the dimensioning part, everything, no, the end product result will be shared to the contractor also. So contractor should understand like how your design should be, like how it will be, and how you want to get it constructed in the construction site. So your level 1 should be in such a way, like whatever the drawing comes from the level 0 should be made in the level 1 with help of the 3D CAD, that is actually the Revit or any other softwares which we generally take with the basic conceptual design. And the level 2, mostly level 2 will be prescribed by the UK government, and mostly it will be we'll have it in the our public sectors also. And this level 2 here, you can see, like everyone will work. It is actually the collaborative working. Okay, here you can see a picture, like where we all can see a small ducks. This is actually called as the duct and the pipelines and also the mechanical equipments. So what design it is being created by the architects, the next step the structural engineers will do, and the third step the ducts, no, the mechanical engineers will do. So whatever design I have created, I can make a change. I can give the approval so that you can make a change. And if I deny your approval, so what happens is that you cannot make any editing in the design which I made. So the complete approval process, it is only with me. Like I can view it, I can give the approval, or I can deny it, or you can make the editing on the own. So it all depends on the collaborative working. So like whenever we have to work in the collaboration, like we'll have a small LAN connection or the small server that can be created using this BIM itself, and we all will work in the coordinated way with the central model. And if you take this as the central model, and whatever model you create, you can upload it, and whatever the other person is being created, and they can upload it here, and the final model will be sent to the client as well. And the third one, it is actually the level 3, the final step, no, like what happens in the final level, it is like the integrated solution built around the all other standards. Like whatever project you create or whatever project I create, eh, by all the teams, like here you can see in the a small image, like I have a team A, team B, team C, team D, and team E. So these were all the different teams I do have, and I have one team for the design, and I do have one team for the fabrication, one team for the logistics, and one more team for the operation and maintenance. Like I'll have all the 5 different teams, and also I'll have the different project members, and I want all the 5 different teams and also the project members to work in one single data. And when everyone has to work with one digital model, and also when everyone wants to work with one single server, it is actually called your BIM 360. So whenever it comes for the BIM 360, so whatever you make, that can be uploaded there, and whatever documents I need for construction, I can take it from BIM 360. Suppose if I tell you that, this I have this error, the design error in the construction, I'll make a mark and I'll send it to you. So at last what happens is that your BIM 360 software will use the BIM level 3, that is actually the integrated solution built around all the standards along all the team members and also among all the teams. And it is not required that every team should work individually. The BIM level 3 and the software which uses this level 3, it is actually BIM 360. So it uses the integrated solution built where everyone can work together. Okay, so these were all the levels of BIM: level 0, level 1, level 2, and level 3. And next we are going to see about the dimensions of BIM. As we all know, like by default we do have 7 dimensions of BIM. It is actually called as the 7D, 7 dimensions. And when it comes to 3D, it is the dimensions we do have, like length, breadth, and height, and that is what is called as the 3D. So when it comes to 4D, length, breadth, height, and time, that is actually takes your 4 dimensions. And when it 5D, it is actually length, breadth, height, time, and cost. Your 5 dimensional will be like length, breadth, height, time, and cost. Like it tell you the complete cost also. And when it comes to 6D, the sixth dimension is actually the sustainability: length, breadth, height, time, cost, and sustainability. And when it comes to the last dimensions of BIM, that is actually the 7D. So it is actually the facility management application. So again, we have to start it from the beginning. Like it goes from the length, breadth, height, time, cost, sustainability, and facility management. So these were all the 7 dimensions of the BIM, and we'll see each and every BIM in detail. And the first is actually the 3D BIM, which we all will be aware the 3 dimensions. It is actually the X, Y, and Z, or we can call it in the other way like length, breadth, and height. So whenever you want to use the 3D BIM, we have the benefits of using the 3D BIM also. Like we can see the enhanced 3D visualization. It means no, like whatever material you need, and you can apply all the material. Like I needed to go for the flooring, or you needed to go for the wall painting. I need this color, I need this ivory color. So whatever materials we need, like you can apply all the materials and you can take the rendering part out of it. So that is what is the biggest advantages when we make use of the BIM, the 3D BIM. And that is the first benefit. And the next benefit of using the 3D, or as we all know, we can able to share the designs also. Like if you share the design, like you'll show them your client that this is a model I made, and this is the material I have applied, this is the paint I have you have requested for sir or madam, that I have applied it on the building. But the next moment the client will tell us that, can you change this paint, because this paint will not suit my model. So what happens is that the next moment you will change your paint, and you will satisfy their design expectation, their requirements. And that is what is the next benefits of using the 3D BIM. So whatever expectations you have it from the client, you can also do it with help of the 3D BIM. And the next is that you can easily collaborate with multiple teams, as we all know, because everyone can work together. And the next one, it is actually no, you need not want to do the rework and do the revisions. Because whenever you take the AutoCAD plan, first you'll create a plan and the dimensions will be wrong, so it will again come for the revision. So we will all make it for the revision 0. So again we'll create the new type of plan, the new material, and we'll again send them with correcting it as the revision 1. So as much of revisions, it just comes when we go with the 2D softwares like AutoCAD. But when it comes to the 3D BIM, the immediate moment when your client requires, the immediate moment if they tell you that I don't want the room to be here, can you change your room, I want it to be the other side, yeah, we can do it. The immediate moment we'll delete it and we'll create it on the other side which they required for. And if you want to change the material, we can do it. And if you want to adjust the size of the building, we can do it. So no, we you can reduce the instance, like you can reduce doing of the rework and revisions. And look, the complete transparency we do have, like what the complete transparency in the sense, like what happens, like we all will tell that no, I have given the rework, I have just given it for the revision. The revision, no, like they have not yet given me the approval, not required. The immediate moment, maybe the BIM manager, your TL, whomever it is, they are just telling you that you have to change it. Of course we can change it with help of the BIM concept, the 3D BIM. And that is what is the last benefit of using the 3D BIM. So the next dimensions of BIM, no, it is actually the 4D BIM. So when it goes to the 4D BIM, it is actually the time. So starting from the excavation, starting from the scratch which you do till the end, no, everyone will aware of your time, how what is the time that is required. So whenever you do the first step in the workflow of the BIM, it is the programming. So when you do the programming, you have to make sure that we have to do the time that is required for the construction also. So if you see, no, like we have to schedule the data in outlining like how much time we do require for the completion of the entire product, completion of the entire product, like for the installation, for the construction, for the operational, and for the fabrication, for everything we have to give them the exact time limit. And that is what it is called as the 4D BIM. But we all will have a doubt that will BIM do 4D, and do any softwares will support 4D? Of course it just supports. And if you want to make use of the softwares which uses 4D BIM, we all have the software like Naviswork, which is one software which uses the 4D concept. With an animation video, it just tells you what is the time, how many weeks it take. This of the week one, it just goes for the column construction. The week two, it just goes for the beam. And the end of the week, it just, maybe you have 20 weeks to construct. The end of the 20 week, it just goes for the painting, the fabrication, the installation. That one software which has BIM by default, and it just goes for the 4D BIM, that is actually called as the time. And the next one, what are all the benefits we do have when we use the 4D BIM? Of course, we have the site planning and scheduling also. So like we all will have the coordination among the architects, the contracts, and also the on-site team. Because like I may plan that it just goes for around 2 to 3 months to get my model to get constructed in the site. As an architect, I'll tell that I need only, no, 3 months to get it constructed. But only the contractors will know, like what will be the deviation of the materials we get, is there any resource problem or whatever it is. No, they all will able to get it only with help of the contractors. And the next other team whom do we have? No, it is actually the on-site team. So when it goes to the on-site, it is actually the site engineers and the site supervisors who works in the construction site. Like they will tell us that we do have the resource problem. Okay, so like I don't find this material will shoot here. And I sometimes know the general disasters will occur. Maybe the rain, maybe the flood occurs. The general disaster when it occurs, the on-site team will let us know that no, the time will get expanded, or the time will get no lessen. So these were all the coordinations which occurs among the contractors or among the architects, and also with the on-site teams also. And we should get prepared for the next step during every construction stage. Because whenever we do plan, and we all know that it takes just 6 months of time. So what happens is that, we all will go with what is the next step, should I take it over. So what is the construction stage, so this stage is getting over, so what should I get prepared? Do I want to order it for the extra units of the components, and should I get all these things done? So we all should get prepared also, and we will be prepared when we make use of this 4D BIM. And also the time, like the costly delays. Okay, because no, like whenever we are aware of the plan, we'll make use of the cost also. Because I need 6 months of time, so obviously I need how much cost is being spent. So if you want to see like how much cost is being spent, and that is what is actually called as your 5D. Okay, so no, the 5D will tell you the cost estimation and also the budget analysis from the beginning of any project. And that is what is the 5D BIM. And also the software like Naviswork will make use of the 5D BIM. It tells you like how much cost is being used. And suppose if you're going to make use of 20,000 cost, and for this 20,000 cost, how many units is being taken. Obviously we can do the 5D BIM, the cost in Revit software also. And you can take the bill of material schedule, everything is done. But when it goes to Naviswork, we all will get in terms of concrete, what is the concrete unit we need. And we all can take it for one type of door, whether it goes for the single flush or it goes for the double flush. So what cost we need. So for each and every quantity, suppose no, like if you're going for Revit, as we all know that we do have one concept like curtain systems in Revit. So when we do have the curtain system, we all will have the mullion, the aluminium panel. So for that each and every mullion of different sizes, we can take the cost estimation from Navis work, and where we will use this 5D BIM concept. And whenever we use this 5D BIM concept, we all will have the benefits like cost, what cost we do get, and like we'll get the automatic count for the components, the equipment, whatever we have used in the project. And no, you can take an comparison also, like what I have planned but what actually it is being spent. No, you can take the cost comparison of the 5D BIM also. And if you say no, the budget, the report, like you can able to get the budgeting also, like this is what I have used it for the last project, and this is what the cost has been risen for this project. So you can get the budgeting and budgeting approval with help of the 5D BIM also. And the next one, it is actually the 60 BIM, where we'll make use of the structure to be a sustainable structure. Because as I've told you, like we all will calculate the lifespan of the structure also. So if you want to calculate the lifespan of the structure, what happens is that like we all will know the energy consumption of every building at the initial design stages itself, like how many artificial lights we do have, and like how you have to make use of the energy consumption of the building. Because we all will have one department like LEED tracking. Okay, when it goes to the LEED tracking, they all will require the energy analysis report, and that energy analysis report can be taken out of the 6 BIM. So like we all will have a doubt that Revit will also do, and is there any specific software for 60 BIM? Of course we do have. It is called as the Green Building Studio. Because the green building concept, we all will know the green building concept, and the green building concept which comes under the energy consumption, and a specific software it is there for the green building, it is the Green Building Studio. And whenever we want any lead certification like LEED certifications, and we should submit all these reports to them to get the certification also. And for that the like the 60 BIM will help us. And the benefits whichever we see, we all will get the energy consumption and the faster and accurate decision that we can make it. And to install the complete documents, the settings, the energy lightings, whatever we do have, and the detailed analysis will get it. And like after handing over also, like what is the operational management we need, like what after you hand it over the building or else the structure, like what all the management they have to take care of from their side, once we have given them the energy consumption documents to them also. And the next step, it is actually the 7D BIM. So like when it comes to 7D BIM, it is all about the operations and facility management by building managers and owners. Like it just tracks the important asset data and warranty information and technical specifications. Like what happens, in the future, you have handed over your building, but in the future they want to reconstruct, they want to renovate it, or they want to do the demolition. Like you have to give them the facility management documents also. Like if you want to do the renovate, you can also do it. And the all the technical specifications like the plan building and the soil test, whatever you did, and all the technical details will be given to them. And whenever you need any easy replacement of the parts and repair during any lifetime of the building, like we have to support the facility management also. And these process will be streamlined by the contractors and subcontractors. Maybe in the future, maybe after 10 years of time or after 15 years of time, you want to repair anything or you want to do the painting again, so we all will go for the facility management, and that will be streamlined by the contractors and subcontractors. And the next step, the most important step, it is the LOD. So when this LOD comes, and this is what the generally industries will ask for. suppose if we ourselves being the entrepreneur, or if we work for any industries, we all will go with the LOD concepts. LOD, the level of development, or we all will call it, no, we all will call it as the level of detailing. So whenever you want to work, we'll go with the LOD 100 till LOD 500. You want to submit any project, if you are going to contact any clients, like they all will tell us that you want to submit the project with respect to the LOD 300 or LOD 350. Based on the LOD 350, we have to submit them the construction documents also. So whatever construction documents they need and they require, we can do it with the LOD concepts, and that is how your BIM also supports. And level of detail or documents. And when it comes to LOD 100, here we all can see that it is the pre-design. LOD comes 100, just it is actually the pre-design, and LOD 200 it is actually the schematic design, and LOD 300 it no it generally means the design development. LOD 350 will be construction documentation. LOD 400 will be at the construction stage, and LOD 500 will be, no, it will be the as built, the complete model at the last stage. It is called as the LOD 500. So by general means, by general terms, we all will go with LOD 350, 400 and 500. No one will ask us for the LOD 100 and LOD 200. We all will go and design according to the LOD 300 to 500. So I'll tell you in depth like what, no, LOD 100 to 300, like what are the documents we all will give. And here you can see a sample example, like when it comes to the LOD 100, no, in BIM. And here you can see the conceptual design. Conceptual design is actually the outer model which we generally create. Like this is how the building will be. No, the outer model of the building, the model will be the LOD 100. And the next step, it is actually the LOD 200. It just goes to the design development. So when it goes to the design, we all will give the doors and windows, the material, the exterior, the elevational view of the model will be done in the design development. And when it goes to the construction document, what are all the construction documents the client requests, that we'll do it in LOD 200 by 300. And when it goes for the LOD 300 to 350, the presentation, we will give the presentation, like this is how the final output of the model it just looks, and I need this much of amount to make it constructed in the construction site. So this is what is called as the LOD 300, the BIM. No, finally we'll apply all the materials, but we will go with 2 to 3 designs. We'll go for 2 to 3 designs, and we'll make them the presentation. So which design you need, you can take it. So once you have taken it, you have to spend this much of money. And the final, no, the LOD 400 is one such biggest part. We all will have the construction, the task, because making a model, making a design, making the analysis part, it all, no, it all can be done in the softwares itself. But still, when we want to go for the LOD 400 for BIM, what happens is that we want to make the exact model to get constructed in the constructed site. So when a company, or when the client is coming and asking you that you have to create a project for 400 LOD 400, of course we can do. So the steps what we have to follow is that we have to go for the conception design, till the construction we have to go it. And the final one, the LOD 500, and it is the only all the big companies will go for the LOD 500, because it will be the completed model, it will be the as built. The general term which we call, it is actually the as built, because how your model should be, you have constructed, and you can see like all the maintenance has been done, so everything has been made completely, and this is how your model looks, because you have constructed everything and your client is also satisfied. So the aspect is one final model where only the top companies will go for the LOD 500. And also the commercial projects, no, all the commercial projects will be taken a contract or taken a tender with the concept of LOD 500. No one will go and bid that I will give you this, I will do this, I'll do this building. Everyone will go and take a bidding on LOD 100, 300, 400 or 500, because only that makes them a cost, and that makes the sensible the information, that what information they have to give it from their side. So these were all the LODs. And you, an example of LOD, like I'll tell you, no, LOD in the BIM execution plan also. Like we all will have the level of detailing, the estimation we'll do, the schematic design will do, the coordination, the construction documents, and handing over. This is how the general project will get, split it over. So whenever you want to get it executed in the plan, no, you will have the LOD 100, 200, and this is what is the execution. So you have to go with the estimation, you have to go with the schematic design, and also the coordination, the documents, and handing over it to the client. So what are all the informations we need? So if you just go for like what are all the informations we need, like we need the conceptual design. So here you can see a small images of the conceptual design. Like whenever you're going for the conceptual design, we have to go for the area, the height, volume, and from the location, and also no, the orientation also. So the outer model, so the pre-design, or you can say the outer model of the structure, that should be made in the conceptual design. So whenever people is coming and asking you for LOG 200, you have to go for the approximate quantities of size. Like in the LOD 100, you all will go with the the this is what is the size, this is what is the shape, and this is what is the location. But whenever you go with the schematic design, like what happens is that like we all will go with the approximate quantities, and like what are all the quantities I need, and know the how it should be get it constructed, and how the fillet should be there, and how the chamfering should be there, and materials, everything should be done in the schematic design. And also when it goes to the design development, the LOD 300 part, and here you can see, like when you see the LOD 200, it is only the outer part. But when you see the LOD 300, it is actually the complete design development. like like how you want your chair should be. This is an example of chair, and like you can see like what is the thickness of the chair, and like what is the rest part, and how the fillet part of the rest should be there, the back portion, and the wheeling, everything should be done in the LOD 300. And whenever you give any model, any documents with respect to the LOD 300, make sure that you give them with the precise quantity, the assembly portions, and also the size, shape, location, and orientation. And if they want to create any, if they want to fabricate it, if they want to manufacture the chair, like if this is a new dimension and they have to manufacture it on the site, you have to give them the shop drawing. Whenever your drawing goes for the manufacturing, whenever it goes for the fabricating, and that is what is called as your shop drawings. So you have to give them the thickness, the welding part, complete set of documents when it goes for the design development. So always the companies will come and ask us for the LOD 300. And also make sure one thing, that you have to submit all the necessary documents in the LOD 300. And for the LOD 400, so when it goes for the LOD 400, it is actually the construction stage. So make sure that you give the detailing documents of the construction, and the material, the bill of quantities, the bar bending schedule, each and every detail, the detailing sheets that is generally required for the construction. We all should make use of this LOD 400, and we all should give it also, because no, people will need only the BOM, the bill of materials schedule, when it comes to LOD 400. The rest of the part, not even one single, no, like not even the industry will just think. But whenever you go for the industries to give all these the BOM, the bill of materials, we all should make use of the industry standards also, like to what industry standards they are working, and according to their standards we all should give for the construction and design. And the last LOD, it is facilities management. you know like because in the LOD 400 this is what you constructed, but when it comes to the as built, the LOD 500, and here you can see no the output of the product, and this is what is the output of the product, and this is how you have to make sure that you're giving the model also with the paint you give, and with the fabrication, the assembly, like you need any chipping works, any interior works we do have, because when it goes to the building model, lots and lots of interior works to be done. So all these interior works to be given in the facilities management, the output of the model, and how innovative, creative, and the interior work, everything should be done when it comes to the LOD 500. And these were all the level of detail or the developmental stage we do have it in the facilities management. And I'll tell you a small uses of BIM, like it goes with the better collaboration and communication, and it comes to the clash detection, because whenever you go for the higher model, when all the different teams is being working, always will have many clashes. Okay, architects will say like I have placed a wall, I have given the material, but the structural engineer, he'll come and say like I want to place a structural beam here, but I do have a clashes with the duct. So we do have many clashes in the building. So whenever you want to find it out all the clashes, what happens is that we do have the software like Navis Work. So in Navis Work, all the clashes will be found and it will be marked in red, and it will tell you like how you can sort it out. And that is what no BIM can make use of it, and all the concepts which is being involved in softwares will make use of it, the clash detection and also the coordination. And the next one, the next uses, it is actually about the facility management. And like if you just see the facility management, like whatever model you do, that can be facilitated in the construction also, and that where you can make use of this beam to make the facility management and the prefabrication. The next use, it is actually the prefabrication, which we all will take, because like whenever you create any model, what we all will do, you specifically tell them that this is what I require for, right? Whenever you do the modeling in Revit also, this is what is the thickness I wanted to get it constructed in the construction site. So according to the materials you give, everything will be prefabricated. Okay, here you can see like what is the size you give, and that will be done in the prefabrication. And that is the next use that you can do it with the BIM concept. And the next is actually the project visualization, and the next you use it is actually to the reduced cost also. So when it comes to project visualization, or when it comes to reducing the cost, the BIM concepts definitely it will do. In what way? Like it does the project visualization, and also it just helps out the reducing the cost. In what way? Like we all know that there is actually the 5D BIM, the fifth dimension of BIM, it is actually the cost, right? So when we make use of this 5D BIM, the cost, so what happens, from there we can able to see and which are all the extra costs, we can cut it off and we can reduce the cost as well. And once you created the building model, the building information, the BIM model, you can visualize the projects also. So this is how my project will be. So there is also the one concept, we all will have it in BIM, like the walkthrough. So this is not no, you can use it in any other softwares also. Like you can make a video, you can go inside the house and you can see like how it just looks. And that is also the one project visualization where the BIM helps us to see, because only after the construction we all can go inside the building and we can see. But in Revit architecture, with help of the walkthrough, with help of the BIM use the visualization concept, we all can go inside the building, we can create a cost, I mean the video, and we can know um, see how it generally looks. And there are also the other uses like the scheduling part, which will be done by the 4D BIM, the fourth dimension, and also the safer construction. Because whenever a person is being whenever we do use the scaffoldings in the building, we can make sure that how he just climbs and everything is being safety, or any other fabrication equipments to be redone, or should I add the other equipment, so you all can digitally see it and make sure that the construction site, no, it's just being safer. If it is not being safer, more risk will be there and more accidents will occur. So BIM will also tell us one thing, that all the persons, all the people, whoever is working in the construction site, they are very safe. And digitally you can see it in the model also. And whatever the integration model you take, the tab you take, everything can be seen by help of this construction sites also. And now, like, no, here where the few softwares, like, where we can use of the BIM concepts, like, no, the Naviswork, Revit, Tekla BIM site. And here you can see, like, from all the models, OpenBIM is one such software, like, where you can integrate with all the softwares, like when it goes for the Vectorworks, or when it goes for the ArchiCAD. Like if you want to create the IFC model, we all will know the IFC model, because whenever you created a model, and when you want to send any model to the client, we all will send it in the different way, and that is actually called as the IFC model. So whenever it just goes in the IFC, no, they can all open it and they can read the complete data. So I mean, the Graphisoft ArchiCAD is also the concept which is being used by the BIM. And Revit and ArchiCAD is most probably it is the same. Revit is being used in the US based countries, and ArchiCAD, no, it is being used in the UK based countries. But the softwares, the concept, no, everything is actually the same. And Tekla one, which is actually the booming software which is being used in the present country, the steel software. And the Naviswork, as I've told you, no, like the 4D BIM, the 5D BIM, the clash detections, everything will be made with help of the Naviswork. But when you want to collaborate all the different softwares, like when you go to the Revit, or when you go for the Naviswork, or when you go for the Tekla, whatever softwares you do, you have to collaborate it with one single software. It is actually the BIM 360. So whatever softwares you do take, like you can share your data, you can share the construction documents, so whatever it is, you have to collaborate it with BIM 360. And whenever you collaborate, and whenever your documents are being shared by with the stakeholders, the contractors, the fabricators, and on-site team, whoever it can be, or your own team members, it should be shared with respect to the LOD only, the level of detailing. Because whenever the documents comes, and whenever you want to submit the documents, and you have to give it with the LOD 300, 400, or 500. And I'll tell you, like, how all these documents will be shared with help of the BIM 360. And also how many products we have it in BIM 360, because we do have many workflows in BIM. So according to the different workflows, we have different BIM 360 products also. And any other doubts? Fine. And now I'll tell you what BIM 360 is, and what are all the products we do have it in BIM 360, and how you have to log into the BIM 360. And no, you have to get certain accreditation and certain acceptance from Autodesk also. It is only the online software. I'll tell you about BIM 360 now. Okay. And now it is all about BIM 360. I hope everyone can see my screen. Okay, fine. Okay. So like when it comes to BIM 360, and BIM 360 is one app. Like what are all the datas you require? Okay, so what are all the data you require at the time of designing, at the time of pre-construction, at the time of field execution, and also at the last step that you needed along the handing over and operations. So all these data can be shared via BIM 360. For instance, I can tell you one thing, that suppose when we work for US or UK clients, and you want to send them the mail stating that I have completed the model, and do you have any doubts, you can let me know. So what this BIM 360 can do, no, like you need not want to wait them that they have downloaded or they have seen, or is there any corrections. We do have one more software called BIM 360. Like no, you can all take your models, you can upload it the immediate moment. The your client in the UK or US, he'll download it, he'll make all the reviews, and he'll upload it the immediate next moment using this app. And it is actually the unified platform which connects all your project team members and data in the real time. Okay, till the construction, this software will make use that you always know, like use this software to work with different team members along with your clients also. But whenever you work with the BIM 360, we all should make sure of one thing, that we are going with designing, pre-construction, field execution, and handing over and operations, because we do have many products, and I'll tell you the products also. So whenever we go with BIM 360, we all will get to know that the projects can be accelerated, the delivery of the projects will be very high, and also the risk that is taken by each and every company will get reduced. Whatever project delivery, suppose if you assure that you are going to give it in 6 months of time, of course you can give it in 6 months of time. And the risk factors, no, obviously it will be reduced whenever you use your BIM 360 app. And in what way it accelerates your project, like you can access all the data, whatever data you require, whatever documents you require, all the data can be accessed anytime, anywhere, no, in around, not only in pan India, around the globe, all the data can be accessed anytime we require. And all the teams can work, all the AAC team members, like no, architects, engineers, and contractors, the construction team members can work through BIM 360. And they all will share the information with the help of this BIM 360. They'll download, because whenever you do the mail, we have to upload all the construction documents through OneLoad or Dropbox, right? That is not required in BIM 360. Whatever be the size, whatever the file size of the document which you want to send it, you can send it through BIM 360. And it is not that only the PDF can be sent, it is not that only the Revit file, the AutoCAD file, the Navis file. It is not that. The images, if you want to send the images, you can send. And if you want to send your Revit files, you can send, irrespective of the file size. Whatever file size it can be uploaded through BIM 360. The immediate moment it can be downloaded from the other side, the client side also. So that is the first thing, the first benefit, and that is also the first thing that where no, the project delivery will be accelerated. And you can share the entire database which you wanted for the construction also. And also in which areas, it just reduces the risk. When it comes to the reducing risk in the areas, it is actually the cost wise it reduces, because we all will know the 4D and 5D BIM, the quality, time, safety, and data reliability, and the customer satisfaction. And all these were the areas, the key areas where your risk factors will get reduced. Because like with help of the 5D BIM, we all will take the cost estimation also. And the quality, of course, we all will know the quality based on the project visualization. And when it goes to time, we all have the 4D BIM. But the time scheduling, it starts from the scratch till the handing over of the projects, we all will know the time also. And when it comes to safety, like the safety measures will be taken before when it goes to the construction site, because a note of the safety measures will be given to the construction site, and they all will upload the images taken from the construction site the immediate moment they can know, upload it in the BIM 360. Because you always have to tell the design errors in terms of any images. In orally we cannot tell them that I do find this error, because you can take a picture of the errors and you can upload it in the BIM 360 app stating that I have found this errors in the construction site. But this is not possible in the earlier cases. In the earlier cases, like, we have to come to the construction, from the construction site to the office, and we have to know, like, tell them that I found this error there. So it is not, that type of risk is being reduced when we use this BIM 360 app. And here you can find a tabulation of using of BIM 360, like the collaboration and access, the simulation part, and also the visualization. And these were all the uses of BIM 360. And the clash detection, the coordination, the all the simulations, the energy analysis report, the rendering, all we can do it. And here you can see the sample images of the um, clash detection. And here you can see a small beam, and top of the beam, a duct just goes. And all these sort of errors, the clashes, can be rectified using the BIM 360 app. And we do have one BIM 360 product called Glue, and this is what is called as the clash detection, the visualization, the rendering part, whatever it is, like, we can all use the BIM concepts in BIM 360 app to download it, and you can do the detailing part and whatever we need. And who are all the users of BIM 360? The architects, and also the engineers, and the construction personnel, and also the cost estimators. So these were all the users of the BIM 360. And when it comes to benefits of BIM 360, it is actually the accuracy and coordination, time and cost. And now we are moving forward for the BIM 360 products. And there are 6 to 7 products we have it in BIM 360. It is actually the documents, the build, the coordinate, the design, the plan, and also the layout. So when it comes to BIM docs, like, all the documents. So what are all the documents you want to share it, you can share it to BIM 360. Okay, so what are all the build? Suppose if you want to use the BIM 360 build, like, you can go with the quality control, safety, and also the project management. So what are the quality control measures you have to give them while building the model, I mean the constructing the model, and what are all the safety measures we do need, and what are the estimations we. So what are all the quality control, safety, and project management we do require uh, during the construction, and that is what is called as the BIM build. So when it goes to the coordination, the BIM coordinate, or the other term in the latest version of BIM 360, it is called as the glue, GLUE. So, like, there what we all can do, no, like, we can go for the clash detections also. So I have told you, no, I have just shown you a small picture, like, the clashes also. Like, whenever you go for the clashes, all these clashes can be rectified in BIM 360 product coordinate. And that is what this product is being used. And the next product which we have is that, the BIM design. So BIM design is one such biggest product we all will have. Like, what are all the work sharing, the collaboration, and if you want to add all your team members, your project members, so everyone can be added through this BIM 360 design app. So I want all my 50 to 60 personnels, the BIM managers, the BIM modelers, BIM detailers, everyone to work on. So we all can, know use this BIM 360 design app, and we can add their BIM team members, and we can work. And the planning, the complete planning, starting from the scratch till the end, everything can be planned using the BIM 360 plan app. And the layout, no layout and verification is one thing, because no, as we have seen one concept in BIM, like tomorrow, like if you're going to start a new task for tomorrow, and today we have to get prepared by ourselves. So what happens in BIM layout, we all will prepare a set of questions, like whether all these has been prepared or not, and that is what is called as the BIM layout. The um, titles and also the questions whichever we do have, no, we all will prepared with help of the BIM 360 field, the layout, and we all will make use of the software to get prepared for the next task. And here you can see the process of using the BIM 360 products as well. And when we all will have the conceptual design, detailed design, construction documentation, pre-construction, construction, and handing over and commissioning. So when it comes to the products, BIM 360, we all will use this BIM 360 documents from the detailed design till handing over. And when it comes to BIM 360 glue or BIM 360 field, I mean the BIM 360 coordinate, both are being the same. Like BIM 360 glue and BIM 360 coordinate as being the same. The coordination, the clashes that if you want to find out in your BIM model, it just starts with the detailed design, and it just still goes till only the construction. And the BIM layout, it should all go for the pre-construction till the construction. The layout, like what are all the layout that you have to give, any verifications, like what are all the tasks you have to make sure that you have it for the next day, all these layouts will be used with help of this BIM 360 layout. And we will use this app only for the pre-construction and construction. And BIM 360 plan and BIM 360 field will be used only for the construction and handing over the projects. And when it goes for the building OPS, as I've told you, in the beginning, like operation and maintenance, so we all will use the BIM 360 product app building OPS. Like what are all the um, management documents you have to make sure that whenever you're going to handing over it to the client, and that one is called as your building OPS. So what BIM docs will do, and it will control the document, it will publish the drawings, and if there are any errors in the drawings, and the markups will be done, and it will create the issues also, and it will support the 2D and 3D document supporting, and it will embed all your data. And you can use this BIM 360 documents in your mobile itself. And we all will have the mobile access when we have the BIM 360 product app. And the version control, whatever version it is, because I may use version 2018, and some others will use the version 2019, and few others will use the Autodesk version 2016. Suppose if someone is uploading their documents in the version of 2016, I can use using this BIM 360 documents, whether what version I do have. The conversion of the lower version to the higher version, no, and the higher version to the lower version will be made in the BIM 360 documents, the Autodesk product. And build panel, and when it goes to the build panel, and the return of investment tracking, the submittal tracking, issue management, daily reporting, safety management, checklist creation, all these, uh, top all these has been enabled, and you can make use of this BIM 360 field, and you can work on it also whenever you want to go for the submittal tracking or the return of investment, the issue management, and also the reporting. And the next one is glue and BIM 360 glue. And we all can use a small extension of BIM 360 glue, where we need the confirmation and acceptance from the Autodesk itself. And whenever we use the Navisworks software, we all can use this small extension of BIM 360 glue, and you can take your model directly from Navisworks to the BIM 360 glue. Desktop application is also available, or you can use it in the online itself. And whenever it goes for the BIM 360 glue, no, we all can go for the clash detection, the model aggregation, the traits, the constructability reviews, the version control, and everything can be coordinated, and it can be checked also in BIM 360 glue. And when it goes for the BIM 360 design, and only the BIM 360 design will take the control of the work sharing, collaboration, tracking, visualization, and the Revit co-authoring also. And BIM 360 design is one such big thing where we can know, like, I only the project manager should take the control of assigning all the BIM managers, the on-site teams, and also the contractors, the fabricators, whoever it is, and you have to roll out all your team members in BIM 360 design. So these are all the products that we can know, we will look in the BIM 360. And but in general, if you see in the process of BIM 360 products, we can use like documents, glue, layout, plan, field, and building OPS. And before like we are going in for anything, and we have to sign in for the BIM 360 product using Autodesk sign in. If you want to work with BIM 360 products, you have to create a new Autodesk sign in, and you have to register yourself for all the BIM 360 products, and you have to work on the BIM 360 products. Now I'll tell you how we have to know, like, we will create an Autodesk mail, and how we all will go for the creation of the, I mean, registering ourselves for the BIM 360 products also. And whenever we want to create a new sign in for the Autodesk, so like what happens is that we all will go for the sign in for the Autodesk, or you can go for the signing of the Autodesk also. Because BIM 360, no, it is actually the cloud app, and we all will work only in the cloud. And whatever products we take, like if we take the BIM 360 I mean the documents, the design, whatever products it is, we all will go, no, like only with the Autodesk sign in. So we have to create a new sign in, like, whatever ID we do have, we have to create a new ID, and we have to sign up. Like whenever you go for the Autodesk sign in, you can click on the create account, and you can create a new account, and you can sign in with respective account, like whatever account you have created. And after creating the account, like we all will go for the BIM 360 field login, or documents login, like whatever login we need. Like here we can see like autodesk.com, and it is BIM 360. And when we go here for the Autodesk BIM 360, and when you use this drop down menu for the products, and here you can see like all the products. When we use this drop down menu, and here we can see the products, no, like for the documents, for the build, for the coordinate, layout, plan, design, and it is actually, no, the OPS. So all these products can be worked, and it can be registered, and we can all make use of these products here. First, no, like whenever we are going for the documents, design, plan, layout, or something, first we have to click on any of the products, any one of the products. Like whenever you click for any one of the products, like we all will have, like you all can get a demo. And here we can see the BIM 360 documents trial, design trial, field trial, and glue trial. Like all these products can be made a trial, and all the other products can be made, we can work it in the cloud itself. That, like all the products of BIM 360, the documents, the design, the field, the trial, we have to register ourselves. And the other products like the build, some other products also we do have, and all these products can be work in the cloud itself. And now we can go and give the mail id that we have registered, and the next name, and give all the details that is actually no required for us, and agree their terms and conditions, and you can try it for free. And no, like it just takes only 3 minutes to set, and you can just navigate into your BIM 360 documents. Okay, so the same way, like okay, so we all should know, like make use of this BIM 360. Like you have to register, you have to give all the mail ID and also the password to get login it to it. And also the similar way we have to go for the design, and also we have to go for the field, and we should go for the glue also. But the documents and design, the immediate moment when you give all your necessary details, it will be logged into the respective products. But whenever we go for the field and glue, we all should get one activation of the membership from the Autodesk. I can show you the mail, like how the activation it just comes. And once you have logged into the BIM 360 field, what happens is that first, whenever you log into the BIM 360 field, we all will get an welcome message. And the third message, we all will get an invitation that we can act, like we all can work for the projects also. Like whatever projects we do have, no, the sample projects that the Autodesk will give us the membership to work with the trial sample projects which they have it from their side. So what we have to do is that we have to give the first name, the last name, the company, country, the state, and the phone number, and also the email id. And here you can see one thing, that what is your role. So you can use this drop down menu, and you can give the role, no, like whether it is the project management, or if you're going with the safety, or you're going to be the owner. Like whatever roles we do have, you can get it. And whatever roles, no, we generally select, according to that we'll get the invitations from the Autodesk. For each and every field, for each and every product which you register by yourself, we all will get an invitation mail from Autodesk stating that welcome to Autodesk BIM 360. When you get a welcome message to the Autodesk BIM 360, then you can able to um, log in for all the BIM 360 apps. For not only for one app, it is for every app whichever we do have. But the first and foremost thing what we have to do is that we have to register ourselves by giving the mail ID, the name, and also, like if you're a student, you can just type the student also. And once you have given the mail ID, and you have to register for all the four products. And now we'll do it for the design. And whenever we go for the BIM 360 design, we all will have the area of interest also. So whenever it goes for the area of interest, like if you're do we have the area on interest on buildings architecture, we can go maybe for the structure, maybe for the infrastructure design, for the construction part, like whatever we do have, like we can go and we can give the area of interested as well. Now I'll go for buildings and structure, I'll agree and I'll click no, I'll go for free. And once no, like if you have given the BIM 360 design, we all will get an activation mail stating that like you can activate your account because you have created an account for the BIM 360 design. So for the BIM 360 design, you have to activate your account, and for BIM 360 field, you will get an invitation from Autodesk directly. And for BIM 360 Glue, there is no activation, and you all will receive an code and I mean like an registration code for the BIM 360 Glue. And for the other products, you can make use of the other products directly. And we all will see BIM 360 docs, design, field, glue, and also two other products of build and also the OPS. And these were all the 6 products that we are going to see by tomorrow. Okay, any doubts? Any doubts?
Ma'am, I don't think there are any doubts as of now. I guess tomorrow when we work on individual softwares, then there might be some queries.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. Yeah, yeah, sure. Like, I'm asking about like what doubts do they have any doubts like no keeping the registrations done and creating the ID accounts or something like that?
Not yet, ma'am. I don't have any questions from any of the participants.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Ma'am, and also one thing like it would be fine that if everyone know like they register for all the documents also, like all the products.
Sure, ma'am. I think everyone's got the link already. You've shown them how to register. So I'll send a request to everyone to sort of make their accounts and log in back tomorrow.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Sure, sure.
So I guess we'll
And
end the session.
yes, ma'am, but there is one question like, do we need all softwares as mentioned on the last slide of BIM? No, no, not required. No, not all the BIM softwares which have mentioned, it is not required. Only 3 to 4 softwares. It is generally enough for us. Like maybe the Revit, Tekla, Naviswork, and these softwares BIM 360. These were all the softwares that we generally required. There is no specifications for BIM 360. We don't have any specifications for the BIM 360, and because it is being the cloud app, that whatever softwares you have, you can directly work it on the online itself, and we don't have any specific specifications also. For the energy analysis, the one app which we use is actually Green Building Studio. It is also the Autodesk application. It is actually the Green Building Studio that we all use.
Thank you for answering those 3 questions, ma'am.
Yeah.
Uh, in the end, I'd just like to say thank you so much for explaining the workflow to us, because most of the times what happens is when we work with multiple softwares, we are not able to send files between one software to the other software. So the compatibility that you've explained in Autodesk BIM 360 is very good, and I'm very excited to sort of use this tomorrow and see how we can navigate with the BIM 360. Thank you so
Yes,
much,
ma'am.
ma'am,
Sure.
for explaining today.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, participants. We'd like to see you again tomorrow after you've made your accounts on Autodesk BIM 360 and all the 4 products that ma'am has mentioned. Please log in by 11 a.m. tomorrow for the second session. Thank you all.